Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Now, on to today's story. I, 32M, have been living in DB for 1 year and just discovered my wife, 31F, is having an affair. Hi fellow Redditors, I've been a lurker for the past 5 months and I've learned a lot from reading the posts and comments in this sub. I apologize for the lengthy post, but I had to put it all out. TLDR, I ignored my gut and all the red flags for too long, and finally today I found out my wife is having an affair with a co-worker, and probably it all started around the same time our bedroom died. Now I'm grieving and experiencing a whole mess of emotions and don't know what to do. Could use a little insight from an internet stranger. Thank you. So the last time wife and I had sex was a year ago. The frequency and quality had been decreasing before that, and a year ago it was the last time. It's funny how a person can remember their first time well. I never had imagined that I'd be able to remember the last without knowing it would be the last and all the pain associated with it. We've been together for about 10 years and married for 2, and up until a year and a half ago I couldn't notice any problem in our sex and intimacy life. I couldn't complain before or after the marriage. Wife even wanted to try new positions, and not long after marriage wanted to have sex at least twice a week. So everything seemed okay. In the last months of our bedroom's life everything was different. Frequency diminished to once a month, and clearly there was no effort from her, it was just duty sex. Until it was dead. At around the same time she made me an ultimatum about some project I needed to do and deliver related to my previous line of work, under the penalty of having to pay back several €1,000, and either I completed it by the end of the year 2018 or she would ask for divorce. This ultimatum made me take my head out of my butt and start working on that project. I did it for a couple months every night after work and home chores until around 2 AM. While getting up at 6:45 AM the next day, and in the beginning the wife was very supportive and always would check on me and give an encouraging kiss and or goodnight kiss before going to bed. Of course, me being working on that project every time I could, lead to gradually feeling we were drifting apart, while she was becoming more engaged with phone calls and messaging her friends from work. On one occasion we were spending time with each other watching a movie. She interrupted it to answer a call from a workmate that lasted for about an hour and a half. I should have known better at that time, so you get an idea how things were getting. After those 2 months she stopped checking on me, kissing me, and showing any sign of affection at all. I missed those intimate moments, those touches, those kisses, the jokes, everything non-sexual that people do to their so, and I tried to get them whenever I could, until she started a fight because she said I was suffocating her. That's when I realized I had been trying to get her affection and had been doing what I now describe as begging for affection, and made the decision to stop it and to stop pursuing her affection. I had given up on sexual intimacy already. At this point I stopped working on that project because I felt I hit a wall and couldn't progress any further. The feeling stuck, and missing all the affection and support from wife was taking a heavy toll on my emotional well-being, and I started to have suicidal thoughts, to the point that I had already discarded several methods to do it and had already chosen one to go forward, and was thinking about what messages to leave to my family and how, so I stopped. Around December last year she started going out with her friends, as far as I know male and female, from work, which she never did before, not even with her other group of friends from the previous work she had, which I know and we used to hang out with. It started as one-off thing, but over time she started to go and have the occasional afternoon snack with her friends. She said sometimes was female friend X, other times was female friend Z, some other times were a group of co-workers to work on a project. In the weekends while I stayed at home longing for her affection and dying for us to do something together. This last bit is what bugs me, not that she has friends she hangs out with, although I feel it would be appropriate that she introduces them to me if they are somewhat important in her life, but this I'm not so sure I'm right. New Year comes and the months pass without any positive change. The dynamic between the two of us stays the same, no affection, no intimacy, and she's always yelling at me for the most ridiculous things. When I go visit my folks at some weekends, she never comes with me. Sometimes she goes visit her folks, but most of the times she stays at home. She continues to occasionally go out with her work friends, and arriving late, or early in the morning, shows what you like the best. On some of those occasions I find out that she left her wedding ring at the bedside table. Unfortunately, I never seriously confronted her about it. When I mentioned it, she said she had forgotten, and continued to forget regularly. Her addiction to WhatsApp messaging is getting worse. She starts calling or taking calls from the same male co-worker, let's call him John, at inappropriate hours, i.e. at 2300 hours or even 23:30, when she has always gone to sleep no later than 22:15. For comparison, if I called my mother at around 2200 hours just to say everything was good, which never took more than 5 minutes, she would yell at me because that was too late to call anyone and she wanted to sleep. Her excuse for those late calls was that he was new in the company and was struggling with some assignments he had to perform, and she was helping him with that because she was a good co-worker, and that today he needs help but tomorrow she could need his help. On one occasion they kept talking and laughing until almost 2 a.m. on a work day. I was so dumb. She refuses invitations from our friends to dinner during weekdays because she needs to go to sleep early. Feel free to reread the previous point if something seems off, and I, as a good husband, don't go without her. She seems to be always in a bad mood around me and almost always answers badly to what I say or ask, or says that I always ask stupid questions. Whatever I do that doesn't fit what she thinks is the right way to do something is automatically wrong, and I'm an absolute idiot for doing differently than she would do, even though a few days later she does it the way I did it in the first place. If I do something wrong by accident, her reaction is like I caused an extinction level event on purpose, while if it's her doing it, it's just a simple shrug and laugh. By the way, I believe this later way of handling accidents is the correct one. Occasionally she's in a good mood, not good enough for any kind of affection though. That ship has sailed long ago and never returned, but that always coincided with times where she needs my help with something. Are you keeping notes? Now I know I should have, but was so dumb, blind, and fell for all her manipulations that no alarms were ringing or I chose to ignore them. She's always jumpy about me getting her phone for her and yells at me if I move to do so or suggest to. And she's always carrying her phone with her, which she didn't used to do before things started to go bad. Around the middle of the year she tells me she's going to surf with her group of friends from work and that she's been going with them once a month for the past 3 months, this being the 3rd time. I was absolutely surprised by that because she's always really cold. She only feels it's good when the temperature is above 30 C. She's not comfortable in water because she feels she's not a good swimmer. Never expressed curiosity or interest in doing that activity, although I already tried it once and enjoyed it and we talked about it on our dating days. Never told me about doing it before. Want to know a few fun facts? When putting our washed clothes to dry, I notice a couple of new sexy panties she never used with me. I also found new bikini pots that I've never seen before that she used for the first, as far as I know, on those surfing events. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think I never saw them again, not even on our beach days. When I mentioned that it's a cool activity that I would enjoy doing too, and asked to join them next time, she started with excuses for me not to go. Later we even talked about buying classes only for the two of us to go together, but when the time came she just refused. Let's move the timeline a bit further. We go away on vacations and coincidentally we were celebrating 10 years of relationship while abroad. On our day I insist we go out to dinner because it's not an ordinary day, but she refuses without acknowledging what special occasion it would be, and I didn't tell her when she asked. We have dinner at the apartment just like any other night during our vacation, and I hide a present I got for her before going on vacation. She never notices it, and in the next morning I have to tell her she slept with something strange under her pillow. She opens the present and says she likes it, and that's it. No further comment, no questions about the reason for the present, nothing. She seems to totally have forgotten what day it was, never mind its symbolism, which is incredibly odd because she's the one who is always pushing for this kind of celebration. Of course that made me feel all kinds of unwantedness and totally destroyed me inside. To add to all that, she doesn't want me to touch the book she's reading, which of course I did when she was not looking, but never found anything suspicious, and one night I caught her on her phone a few hours after we went to sleep. That event prompted me to get a therapist, and I've been seeing it for about 8 sessions now. It has helped me a lot to have someone who I can't vent all these frustrations and suffering without fear. By this time I think most of you that read so far are thinking that obviously she's cheating, or at least has shown a bunch of red flags. However, at this point I didn't believe it. I put that hypothesis on the table, but if you had asked me I would answer no, I don't believe she would do that. At most she's just venting with her friends and using those moments they are together to escape from our miserable relationship. Fast forward to a couple weeks ago, we were staying at home for the coming weekend and we had some tickets to go see a movie. I suggest going there on Friday night because she already had plans for Saturday afternoon, another surf thing with her friends, and for the night, dinner and nightclub or bar with the same group of friends. She says that she's too tired because she had been working late at the office for several days that week and wanted to rest. Guess what? Friday I arrive home after a long day at the office and she already had dinner. Unfortunately at this point this was kind of frequent, so no big deal per se. A few minutes in, John calls her, and after she says a couple of times that she's tired and doesn't want to leave the house, she gives in and changes her clothes to lovely summer dress and leaves with him. He passed by our building and gave her a lift, saying that it would only take an hour or so. Stupid as I am, and hurt because when it's to go somewhere with me she's tired, but on John's call she's ready to go. I told her I would go to the cinema, watch a different movie. I'm pissed and with all my spider senses firing left and right, but I don't believe them and go to the movie. 3 hours later I arrive home and she's not there yet. Should take only 1 hour, right? And I call her because I noticed a major accident on my way home and she could be stuck in traffic or worse, be involved in it. She denies my call and sends me back a text jokingly that she's coming home shortly because this is not an appropriate hour for a lady to be out. I decide to wait by the window behind the window blinds to at least get a glimpse of who this John guy is. After about an hour a car stops in front of our building as if it was about to drop someone off, and I believe I recognize my wife in there, but I can't be 100% positive. But suddenly they drive again without dropping, or picking, anyone. Now I'm on full paranoid alert and stand by the window for another 2 hours. Until a car stops a little bit further down our building and I hear my wife's voice saying things the same way she said to me in the early years when we were flirting and on super honeymoon phase. Now I can't say for sure, but this could be the same car I saw earlier, and in my mind it is /was, and they decided to go for another round of sexiness in the car before calling it a night. It was at this point that I shifted from she can't be cheating to she could be cheating, but she could also be telling the truth. She had told me a story about John wanting to talk to her about some serious health issue with his mother. That's why she took so long to come home. It was only after I talked to someone who was cheated on who told me that he had seen this kind of behavior on her cheating girlfriend that I went full she's probably cheating, get evidence now. Today I finally found the evidence I was looking for and am devastated. I finally picked her phone after trying several times and getting cold feet, either because my conscience was telling me it's wrong or because I was afraid she could catch me. I know it's utterly wrong, but I'm glad I did it because now I know who she is. She's been sending him sexy pics on her underwear to make him hungry. Do I need to say that she never did that with me? That she's not that type of person? Oh, and that sudden Friday night unwanted get-together a couple weeks ago? Was totally premeditated and they were looking forward to it. I've been through all sorts of emotions today, from anger and full-blown desire to hurt them both. I fantasize about beating the crap out of the guy and about exposing wife's affair to her entire network of family, friends, co-workers and employer. However, I'm a good guy. Could that be a reason for all this? I'm too nice, and because of that I put up with things that I shouldn't to don't upset the wife. and would normally be incapable of such things, and I am at a total loss about what to do moving forward. I know I must leave as fast as possible, but part of me thinks that is just giving them what they want, and I feel I need to fight back somehow, not going out quietly and allowing them to live their happy lives like nothing had happened. I'm so hurt right now. Even though I've been expecting this in the last couple weeks, I was totally unprepared for this shit. For a split second I think that if somehow I had a magical button to wipe out all humans, I would have pressed it without a second thought. To add more confusion to an already mess, we have a mutual friend couple that's getting married in a week, and I don't want to disturb what should be their perfect moment, which means I can't tell them what I've discovered. They already know about the DB problems and all the shitty ways my wife has been treating me, and I can't also tell my parents because we need to go there for the weekend because of the marriage of our friends, and I can't make them go through the act of pretending everything is fine. So I'm stuck with pretending I know nothing for an entire week with her while also needing to prepare my escape. Luckily this week I'll have a session with my therapist, and hopefully that will help dealing with all this. I'll also try to consult a lawyer to know what steps I can take. What have I learned so far? Trust your gut. Stand by your boundaries, never settle for the sake of keeping the peace in the house or making your wife happy. It will probably save you a lot of hurt down the line. Thank you all for reading my rant. You deserve a medal. Edit 1, thank you all for your amazing support. I'm sorry I'm currently unable to answer most of your comments, private messages and chat, but they give me strength and hope in mankind. Thank you all for your encouragement. I don't think I managed to read all your comments yet, and I apologize for that. To everyone who asked for an update, I will do it when I'm out of this shitstorm. Since I posted this I've gathered my troops, meaning I talked to my friends and close family, and I all got from them was incredible support. Already got a place to move to, legal advice, and booked an appointment with a specialized lawyer and the contact of another. I gathered more evidence and found out that they started messaging each other a year ago, right at the time the DB started, and already had been flirting with each other in the workplace. Somehow only a few people in her workplace knew/know that she's married. At least she told him that at some point, don't know exactly when or the context yet because I just saw it in a glimpse while I was gathering the evidence, but if it was about the then current status, I guess she must have removed her wedding ring every day at work since she started working there in the second semester of 2017. And of course they continue doing it like rabbits whenever and wherever they get an opportunity. After the company party on the Saturday night I made this post. She got a sore hip from the handle of the handbrake of a car. In Europe those handles are usually between the two front seats, so you can imagine how did she get that. Yesterday she was saying that she would probably go meet her female friend, let's call her Jane, for a coffee that afternoon, but her friend never replied to her invitation, so she didn't go. Do you think it's a coincidence that John was stuck on a beach with some friends somewhere and was unable to leave that same afternoon? I'm looking forward to hear her excuse for arriving home late next week's Wednesday. She has booked a massage session for couples for that day, and it's not a surprise she's prepared for me, but I believe it's some kind of birthday present for John since his birthday is September 16th. I'm still baffled how she can just lay in bed and turn and instantly fall asleep with all the shit she's been doing. I seriously doubt she has a conscience. Fortunately now I am able to see through her deception. It's devastating to find out about all those things, but I've been able to handle it, and it confirms even more how shitty of a person she, and him, is, and at the same time reinforces my resolve to exit on my own terms. I've been keeping a cool head, fantasizing of course on all the ways I could make them suffer a tiny fraction of what I'm going through, but they are just fantasies that allow me vent the anger, rage and despair. I'm now a man committed to a mission, to exit this on my own terms, with my head straight high and proud of how I do it. She doesn't deserve that I waste my time, energy or life with some kind of petty revenge. I pity anyone who gets close to her and thinks she's a good person. Once again I thank you all for all your comments and support. You are very good people. Can't wait to update you when I leave this. Edit 2, posted an update. Edit 3, posted a new update. Edit 4, update 3 here. Update 1, I, 32M, have been living in DB for 1 year and just discovered my wife, 31F, is having an affair. Edit 1, it's happening now. D, I don't remember the last time I felt this happy and alive. Edit 2, I did it. I left without looking back. Everything went smooth and at the end of the day I texted my soon-to-be ex-wife breaking her the news. I'm exhausted and going to sleep. Thank for your support. I'll make an appropriate update as soon as I can. Edit 3, posted an update. Edit 4, update 3 here. Hi there. I have updated the original post with some new findings a few days ago, but this one deserves its own update post. TLDR, I'm leaving tomorrow. Wish me luck. Thank you for all your support through the most difficult time in my life so far. Original post here. These past 5 days have been an emotional Category 6 hurricane. But I've put myself together and organized everything to leave tomorrow with the help of amazing friends, family, co-workers, managers and you fellow Redditors. I found out I'm fortunate to be surrounded by the most extraordinary and supportive people that helped me navigate through all this mess. I've bonded even closer to my family and friends and realized that in the past 10 years with her I've lost contact with some nice people that I want to reconnect with. I've changed my focus from wanting to know more about them and what they did/are doing to not caring about her anymore and doing the things and being with people that make me happy and bring joy. I'll leave her tomorrow and bring all my stuff with me. At the end of the day she'll be contacted by my lawyer and from then on I'll cut all contact with her and her family. I don't believe she will try to go to my friend's wedding by herself and even if she does, she won't be welcome there. Once again I thank you all for all your support, advice and suggestions on what I should do, and all those who challenged my decisions and points of view with their own opinions and arguments. A special thanks to all who shared their experiences and gave me hope for the future when I couldn't find it. Thank you. Wish me luck. Smile. Dash. Update 2, I left her. An update 2, I, 32M, have been living in DB for 1 year and just discovered my wife, 31F, is having an affair. Hi there. I did it. I left her and I'm ready to close this chapter of my life and it feels incredibly good. TLDR, I left with my stuff and it is great. Had a really good weekend, and already started to tie loose ends, reconnect with people and close spending issues that contributed or were used to manipulate and make me suffer. I told my soon-to-be ex-wife, and her mother, that I left the house, that she knows what she's been doing and that we'll start the divorce process this week. She tried to reach me but I blocked her number. In the text messages she sent she never acknowledged the cheating. As far as I know she doesn't know I found out about the affair, and if it depends on me she won't, at least for now. Thank you all for your incredible support. First post here. Update 1 here. As I posted on the second edit of the update 1, everything went really well. After the soon-to-be ex-wife left for work, 4 members of my family arrived at my place and we started packing my stuff and loaded the cars with my things. We got everything packed in about 4 hours and took several pictures of how we left everything and finally I left and closed the door for good. As advised by the lawyer I left the keys I used in the past 3 years inside the house, and when I closed the door I felt free and relieved for getting out. We had a really good lunch and celebrated my escape and newly found freedom. In the afternoon I cancelled all my bank cards and went to therapy and felt really good about myself. I called my friends that would get married the next day and told them what happened and that I would attend their wedding alone and they fully supported me and my decision. I also told the rest of our close group of friends and they were astonished with all I had gone through and were incredibly supportive. At the end of the day, my soon-to-be ex-wife, there should be an acronym for this, P, texted me telling me she was leaving work to go home. Just a reminder that she believed that we would go to my parents' home on that day to attend my friend's wedding on the weekend. I waited for about 40 to 50 minutes, the time I thought it would take her to arrive home, and then texted her what my lawyer had advised me to. I left the house. You know what you've been doing. Next week we'll start the divorce process. Immediately after sending that text, I called her mother and basically told her the same thing, that I left the house, would start the divorce process after the weekend, and that her daughter knows what she's been doing and she would explain what she thinks she must explain. She demanded I tell her my version, but I told her I didn't want to talk bad about her daughter and would rather she explained what she thinks she needs to explain. Eventually in the future I could tell my side, but for now I didn't want to. From the brief talk with her mother, I couldn't understand if she knew anything about her daughter's cheating activities, and honestly I don't care anymore. That moment, breaking the news to my soon-to-be ex-mother-in-law, I bet you thought I was going for my wife again, and her daughter, was the most stressful time of the day, and as soon it was over I really could relax and feel incredibly good and free. While I was talking to her mother, she called me twice and texted multiple times saying things like, "You shouldn't have handled things like that. We need to talk about this and we couldn't do this to our friends. If you're not paying attention, I believe this is classic manipulative behavior." I blocked her number right away, but she kept calling me non-stop. It took her about 20 rejected, blocked, calls before she stopped for the day. She eventually sent me messages on other apps, but I didn't open them, so for her it was like I didn't see them. She called my best friend but he didn't answer her, and eventually texted her he didn't know what to be involved in our problems and asked her to leave him alone. She also called my mother. She had never called her before during the more than 10 years we'd been together, and my mother also didn't answer. Me, my mother and sister, had a great trip back home, and after dinner I had my friends over and I explained everything that happened, and again they were incredibly supportive. The following day me and my friends, went to the wedding and it was amazing. It was the best decision to go alone without the cheater. I had some tough moments. Witnessing the respect and love the bride and the groom showed to each other was really hard because I didn't have any of that in the last years, but my friends were incredible and always stood by my side and helped me put all that behind and enjoy the party, which I did. The next day we had lunch with the newlyweds and it was great. Back at home the same day, we celebrated my mother's birthday with a dinner with nearly all the close family members that live nearby, around 20 people, and I took the opportunity to tell them what happened and that I was better now than I've ever been in the past months/year. I wanted them to hear it from me and not from hearsay. That bomb shocked everyone, except my mother, father and sister, who already knew about the story and knew I wanted to tell everyone and fully supported me, but after talking a bit more with each one they could see I was really good and it brought all us closer together. Everyone was really supportive and it was really good. My soon-to-be ex-wife kept trying to call me throughout the weekend, 30 calls and counting, and sent more messages in messaging apps. In one of the messages she told me that a life together can't be undone just like that just because I decided to, that she didn't want to fight but only wanted to talk with me, and asked if I was convinced to leave by a former female co-worker of mine and if I was living with her. I'm no expert, but I'd say this another classic sign of manipulation and projection. She's projecting her cheating behavior on me. That's when I blocked her in that messaging app. She tried to call some of my other friends but they didn't answer and text her back not to involve them in our issues. It's really amazing how they are supporting me and have my back on this. Today I spent some time with my former team from my previous line of work and it felt good to reconnect to those people I had lost contact with, and that's something I want to keep doing. I want to take advantage of this moment to tie some loose ends, reconnect with people, stop holding my emotions and close bending issues that have contributed for me to fall in the trap of a master manipulator that used all that and my insecurities against me. As you can see, these last few days were pretty intense and really good. I really feel good with myself and my mind is clear. I have no doubts about leaving this dead relationship and have no regrets. This week the lawyer will start the divorce process. I can't wait to finally be divorced and free from that person. Thank you all for your amazing support. I'm really touched by all your messages and apologize for not responding. I hope to fix that in the coming days. Smile. Your love and strength were really important in getting around all this. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart. Edit 1, Update 3 here. Update 3, it's been 1 month since I left her. An update 2, I, 32M, have been living in DB for 1 year and just discovered my wife, 31F, is having an affair. Hello there. First of all, I want to thank everyone for all your messages and thought-provoking questions and comments in my previous posts, and I apologize for not responding, but in the past month all the time I could get for myself I tried to reconnect with some friends I had lost contact, meet new people and tried not to spend too much time online. I think you'll understand. Smile. There are some really good comments I want to respond to but have been unable to. I figured an update was a good way to celebrate 1 month of leaving a cheater and a dead relationship. TLDR, I left my cheating wife a month ago. In this past month I've had my ups and downs, but always had the support of my friends and family. Smile. The divorce hopefully will be finalized by the end of this week. I plan to confront her, her parents, and her AP, in separate of course, after having the divorce. I'm thinking about telling a few friends of hers about what she's been doing, and then I think I'll be ready to close this chapter. First post, here. Update 1, here. Update 2, here. And now the update 3. During this month I had the opportunity to meet new people and get together with old colleagues from my previous company and previous line of work. It was really good to be with them again. I had my ups and downs, but luckily the downs were just 3 really bad days where at the end of the day I felt miserable and lost, and in one of those days I found myself crying while stuck in traffic. My friends were always there for me and didn't mind my sudden bursts of messages and or calls, just venting my roller coaster of emotions. One really good moment was a 30-minute talk with a young female researcher at my city's university during an event made to raise public awareness for scientific research and its importance in society. She was a really great communicator, smart, passionate about her job, good listener and beautiful. Those 30 minutes of talking with her about what she was researching and what implications it could have for society were lovely. I lost track of time while talking with her, and that interaction fueled me up for an entire week. It's silly and amazing how such a few minutes can boost someone's mood for so long. And all that happened because I fought myself to leave the house and go out to attend this event, and started talking with perfect strangers that were there to show their work and talk about it. So my advice to myself and others is get out your shell, go to places, be with people, try new things. You never know what's around the corner if you don't go there. Now about my cheating STBX. The week after I left her, I met with my lawyer and gave him all the info he needed to prepare the documents to start the divorce. He advised me to unlock my STBX and contact her just to tell her that I had hired a lawyer to start the divorce process and that she would be contacted by him. He also advised me not to tell her I found out about her cheating on me. I called her that day and she said I didn't have to involve a lawyer, that she didn't want to be with someone who doesn't want to be with her, so all I needed to do was tell her I wanted to leave. She continued talking, basically blaming me for leaving and not trying to fix things, while conveniently failing to mention that she had been regularly banging her co-worker in the last year. I couldn't believe how she was capable of saying those things. It was almost as if she really believed them and the affair she was having did not exist. Had I not collected some evidence before leaving, and I would be doubting myself and probably ended up believing in her. I kept my cool head and simply replied I did not want to talk about what happened right now, and that my decision to leave was final and not up for debate. This was a huge wake-up call for the power that manipulators can have over other people, especially if they have low self-esteem or lack confidence in themselves, which in my case were true, and I believe could be the case for most people stuck in a DB or other unhealthy relationships. This also showed me that my decision to simply vanish without confronting her was the best, because at that time I did not have the mental strength to keep a cool head and resist her blame shifting, and probably would end up A, doing something stupid, or B, stay and become even more trapped in her web of manipulations. A few weeks later I met with my lawyer again to sign the documents he had prepared. My STB ex had already met him and signed them herself, and told me that he asked her if she had any idea why I wanted to divorce her. If she didn't do anything I might find inappropriate and could be the cause for the divorce. He told me she was clearly lying when she answered that no, there was nothing she could have done to make me want to leave her. The divorce process is now underway and hopefully it will be completed next Thursday. She didn't oppose the divorce and didn't pose any problems, so far, which significantly helped things moving this fast. My lawyer first estimated the divorce could take a few months to complete, so when I got the call from the government department that handles marriages and divorces that it would finalize next Thursday, it was really great news. We'll both meet with the person responsible for handling the process, I don't know the correct name in English, and sign the final document that declares us divorced. This means I'll meet her for the first time since I left her. I plan to confront her after getting the divorce finalized. I will also call her mother and arrange for a meeting with her parents to confront them if they already knew about the affair, and to tell them my version of what happened. This might not make sense to many people, but it's something I need to do in order to close this chapter of my life. I'm also thinking about calling the other guy to thank him for helping reveal my STBX true colors and make him know that despite the fact that they have sworn to always be true to each other no matter what, she lied to him about a few things. If he agrees to meet me, I think I'll do that to try and learn from him how and when it started and what she told him about our relationship. I'll probably call a few of her friends and tell them that she used their names to conceal her cheating with the other guy. And then I think I'm ready to close this chapter and move on for good. Thank you all for your support. Edit 1, it's done. We are officially divorced, smiley face. When we were outside the building I told her I knew what she has been doing with the other guy and I wish her to be happy. She replied, I certainly did not know what was going on with them, and that she was only doing it to get a reaction from me. I can only guess she thinks that it equals messaging and phoning the other guy. I also told her that she would find out sooner or later that people are not loyal to cheaters and deceivers. I also called her mother and arranged for a meeting at a local mall to tell them my side. Thank you all for your support and challenging comments. Edit 2, I met with her parents at a local mall and told them my side, basically what's on the original post but severely redacted. I didn't tell them about the messages between them because my lawyer advised me not to. But I told them some things I found through their messages as if I learned them from other sources, neighbors, friends of mine at her workplace. Their first reaction was to attack me, asking why I didn't confront her when I found out, why I left without talking with her first, why I didn't told them before so they could do something. I have no idea what were they thinking, why I left her in the eve of our friend's wedding, why I didn't talked with her several months ago. I responded to them that I had to look after myself first and knew if I had confronted her I would be crushed and brainwashed and guilted into staying, and that from previous arguments we had I already knew she would dismiss all my concerns and again brainwash me. They got cooler after that and we continued to talk normally. They were shocked and find it hard to believe she could cheat on me and get involved with someone behind my back. It's not surprising and I was expecting that. At this point I was struggling with the thought of whether to show them some pictures of messages where she sent him photos in underwear, but I decided it was best not to, as my lawyer had told me. They told me that she only told them that we were supposed to go to our friend's wedding and that I just disappeared without any reason. They told me she told them that the other guy was just a friend from work that has some serious problems at home because his mother has Alzheimer's, which is not accurate. She has bipolar disorder, and that sometimes he needed to talk about it and that's why they talked and messaged each other so frequently and at unusual times of day. I found it curious that her father also told me that sometimes women do stuff like talk to other guys in order to get a reaction from their partner, which is something she also told me. You can read it in edit 1. Is it just me that thinks this logic is completely flawed? I can only guess that this way of addressing issues runs in the family. They told me they will confront her with what I told them and try to determine if she really cheated on me by her reaction. I will probably get an angry call from her in the near future. I don't care if they believe me or not. I did what I felt I needed to do. They now know why I left the way I did. What they do with that information is not my concern. But they won't be able to say we had no clue when she's caught lying again in the future. Thank you all. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please comment, like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are.